Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be doing my June 2022 completed coloring pages, and if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Alright guys, so I don't know how long this video is going to be. I certainly did not color as much as I usually do, but I'm looking at my books turned on its side and I did color a fair bit. I also can't remember what I colored, so there may or may not be stories. At the end of the video, I will show you my reference journal where I keep all of my coloring book information, and I actually did change that up a little bit, so I'll talk about that at the end of the video. I also do these by way of bookshelves, and I'm going to be mixing it up because I do want to finish with a particular bookshelf, and so I'll reference, okay, we're going to be starting with bookshelf 4, then we're going to go to 1, 2, and then end with 3. For you guys, it actually doesn't make a difference. It's not like you can see what I'm looking at, but it does help me when I'm editing to figure out how to put it down in the description box. There will be timestamps for all of this. So yeah, let's just get started. I do have an ongoing group buddy color with Emma, Erica, and Poet. And so we are working out of Reptiloids. For the rest of the year, we've set up our color palettes because we don't actually color the same page. We just have a color palette. And for the last half of 2022, instead of specifying a particular color palette, what we're doing is you can color any page, any color palette except, and then every month there is a different color that you can't use. So I'm looking forward to that. For June, the color palette was Jewel Tones. And so I did color this guy right here. And okay, good. I think, when did I finish him? Oh no. Olga's current bi-monthly prompt is book, but I completed this before she released her video, so I can't include it, but that's fine. But I did color this in Jewel Tones. I did use some glossy accent. It's mostly alcohol marker. And like I said in the last time I did one of my completed pages video, I would like to work in order. Just because I do have a lot of the front-loaded pictures completed. And so he was the last one in this front, and now everyone else are actually completed. And I do like putting text on these pages because these do give me a particular vibe. And so I looked up cheesy pickup lines, and the one that kind of struck me was, "I'm not staring at your boobs. I'm staring at your heart." And I thought that was just really cool. Now, you're going to notice there's going to be a bit of a change midway through the video. I think when I hit bookshelf number 2, so the third set of books that I'm going to be showing you, I'm going to take this desk pad off and show you the one underneath, and then hopefully you guys can help me figure out which one's better for filming purposes, because that tan one that I was using, it was just too dark, and because my lighting system is already not that great, I want to see what you guys think by way of lighting on the desk pad. But yeah, that was my completed pages or page from this book, Reptiloids, from Vassal Psycho. And like I said, this is an ongoing group buddy color with my girls Poet, Emma, and Erica. I completed a page out of this, She Said It Best, a Jane Austen coloring book illustrated by Kimma Parrish. And this was another month that I had difficulty with Corey's alphabet challenge because I use colors that start with the letter of the month, and it was difficult to find water or pencils that started with the letter K. I actually could only find 2 pencils that started with the letter K. And so I also used a watercolor pencil. And so this is Derwent watercolor pencil in Kingfisher Blue, a Polychromos in Kelly Green. No, that's a Prismacolor in Kelly Green and a Prismacolor in Kelp Green. And so I wanted to pick a picture that was very simplistic. And the Derwent watercolor pencils are okay. I did buy a few from an art shop several months ago. They're not my go-to because if I'm going to use a watercolor pencil or something similar, I'd actually use my Inktense. But for this purpose, I think it looks okay. And it did take a few bit of layers. Sorry, I don't know where my words are today. And I did use a Tombow water-based marker blender to kind of blend this out. So that was for Corey's challenge. With the colors that I had to use, I don't think it's that bad. I do prefer 5 pencils because you can get more range. It's just I couldn't find them. But the letter for July is L. E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Yeah, so that actually should be a lot easier to find colors. And for my marker challenge that I like to do for her, I couldn't find anything. So when we get to my reference journal and we check things off, you're going to see that there's just some things I just did not get to this month. But that was the page I did for that. Because of how I was feeling this month, I actually did not film quite a few videos that I like to do on a monthly basis to include my color along in the Grogu book, my random color challenge. I did not have the motivation or the energy levels to do that. So I just colored this off camera. But this was the buddy color for this month. For our group buddy color, and that was inspired absolutely by Be Cozy. She suggested that we do one, and I thought that's a great idea. And then for the July group buddy color, this is the page that I chose because July is my birthday month, and so this is what hopefully I'll be doing on camera with you guys. But I actually really like this. I took this to work to do a quick coloring during my lunch break because the way that I've been working, I haven't had a lot of time to color, but I did want to get this done. I got this done on June 29th, so I was really pushing the wire. And my mediums there aren't the same as my mediums here at the house. And I like the effect of him. He is probably 3 or 4 different layers, and then I ended with a lighter layer, and it kind of pulls up the color, but it also seems to give texture to his skin. The very first color I actually liked, but it was running out, and so that patchiness you see is because of that. But I think doing the different layers on top and then using a lighter color on top, sort of like a colorless blender, kind of lifting some of the color, I think it makes a really interesting effect. And he's not the typical colors that I use just because I didn't have the typical colors that I use, but overall I think he looks really good. The pictures I've seen that you guys have done on this is just absolutely phenomenal. And then you guys know I like to put text on here because there is a ton of white space and I don't feel the need to do a background. And so what this says is, Grogu was a big fan of the saying, if it fits, it sits. This is the way. And that's my completed page out of this, The Way Home. And this is a galactic coloring book by Morgan O'Brien. I did get a picture completed in here, Matchstick Mouse, an autumn coloring book by Morgan O'Brien. And yeah, this was for an Olga Rani prompt. I actually did this right in the start of the month. The prompt was Spider, and it was a really quick color, really fun to do. And because it was a quick color, I was actually able to get a few done for Olga Rani. And the text on here says, the courtship was going so well. Today they decided to hang out and watch the stars twinkle and talk the night away. So these two are definitely getting to know each other, and I think that's a really cute picture. And because there's already a background by way of the night sky, I didn't feel any need to do anything here or do much by way of doing lots of embellishments on here. But there is a little bit of a pink and gray for the spider, and then some what is it, the dual hybrid metallic on it, but not fully marked in, just a squiggly just to give some dimension. And then on her or him, whatever, it doesn't matter, love is love, there's some Wink of Stella on top of the alcohol marker. But that is my completed page from this Matchstick Mouse, an autumn coloring book. I also did one in here, Matchstick Mouse, a Halloween coloring book. And again, for the same prompt of spider for Olga Rani. And the text on this says, Sissy the spider wasn't sure what that big raspberry thing was, but she didn't like it. Nope, nope, nope. And that's Sissy the spider. Now, I don't actually have a problem coloring spiders. I hate them in real life. But even this looks a little freaky to me. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but still, I just, I think it's the hairy legs that really get me. But yeah, that's the picture I completed for Olga Rani's prompt of spider. And the mediums on here are some alcohol markers, white gel pen, dual hybrid metallic, wink of Stella. And yeah, pretty simple, pretty basic, very quick. Both of those 2 pages that I just showed you, this one and the last one, were completed on June 1st. And so that is Morgan O'Brien's Matchstick Mouse, a Halloween coloring book. I did complete a picture in here, Rococo A Go-Go by Carla Magana. And this was actually a buddy color with my girl, Chelsea. And this actually fits a couple of things. One, it was a buddy color with Chelsea. My Coloropoly prompt for June, or one of them, was monochrome. So these are all shades of green. This also fits M. Bean's One Color Challenge. Again, shades of all green. I have yet to post to Instagram for this page, and so yeah, I still need to do that. But you guys know my Instagram game is weak, but I'm pretty sure I added the triangle behind her. I had already known that I wanted her name to be Kermit de la Creme, because all of these ladies and gents in here are going to have drag queen type names, because that's just kind of the vibe. And then I thought of this here because I was trying to convey what it is that she was conveying to me. And her text is, she'll kiss you or cut you. There is no in between. And I thought that was just so cool. And I love the shades of green. Giving the texture down here, this is actually a Jelly Roll Glaze pen. I love the Jelly Roll Glaze pens. I love my Jelly Roll dual hybrid metallics. The Moonlight ones that I have are very fluorescent, and so I have to use them judiciously because I don't know that I necessarily like that effect, but I like them. I don't know that I'll be buying any more Moonlight pens, but I'm already on my second set of glaze pens and my second set of dual hybrid metallic pens. So I love those. But up in here, I've got stickles for her glasses, and it's just a really fun and pretty page to me. But that was, again, a buddy color with Chelsea. Hers is phenomenal, as always. She is the Carla Queen. And this is Rococo A Go-Go by Carla Magana. I did complete a page out of this Fantasy Figure Special by Coloring Heaven. This is actually something, again, I still need to post to Instagram, but this is for Poet Spice's Gents for June and July 2022. I've told her a couple of times now, when I see that prompt, I'm thinking hot guy summer. But she's like, well, she also thought that, but she didn't necessarily need all of the guys to be hot. But yeah, I specifically colored him because I thought he was just too cute. And yeah, alcohol marker for this to really frame him out. And then the color palette, it just kind of happened. That kind of how things work for me. I chose the colors of the flowers and then just kind of worked my way around with the rest of him. But I think he's really cute. I do need to post this to Instagram. He's actually already on my phone, so it's not like I don't have it. It's just, yeah, Instagram game is weak. But there's this guy right here, Fantasy Figure Special by Coloring Heaven. I was actually able to complete a page out of here. This was a buddy color with my girl Poet. And we did this page right here. She included him in her Gents for June and July. So whenever I get to posting, I will also do the same thing because this is definitely the beast and he's definitely a dude. This here, we chose very similar colors. This is definitely the color palette inspired by Disney, but I believe hers was a little different from this. This is one of the coloring books when I did my untouched coloring book video. I wasn't sure that I would ever color, but now having colored it, it was actually fun and interesting. So I don't know necessarily for July, but I will need to reach out to her to see if she wants to do another page in here for some just future random, whenever we feel like it, buddy colors. But yeah, that's The Dark Side of Fairy Tales, and that is illustrated by Trixehana Ocampo. Now, I know it's a little late to mention this, but I don't generally link things in my videos just because linking all of the channels that I reference already take up a lot of space, and you only have 5,000 characters. I know that because I came quite close to that limit my last completed pages video, because I reference a lot of different people. But if there is anything that you see, let me know in the comment section, and if I can, I'll send you either an affiliate link, and of course I'll let you know that it is an affiliate link, or I'll send you a link that is an affiliate link because it's not specifically from Amazon. I always forget to mention that. I did a group buddy color with Sarah and Pixie out of this Gabby Wolf's Houses number 2. And so we completed this page here. I do love coloring architecture because this was so vibrant and bright to me. I did not feel a need for a background, and because there isn't that much background, I didn't feel any need for text, because that's kind of my thought process. Doesn't need a background, we'll text you instead. And if either of those answers are no, then I let the picture be the picture. I specifically colored this in a way so that I would get lines to get some texture to the side of the house to make it look kind of like, I think it's called stucco. I like using that. Plus, it's also the lazy girl's way of using alcohol markers, because then I don't have to be very precise on keeping the ink wet on wet so that there is no lines. If you just plan on having lines, then you can just use that as an effect for texture. But it was really fun. I don't know that we're going to do another one in this. I don't actually know what our next group buddy color is going to be, but I did enjoy this. And that is Gabby Wolf's Houses coloring book number 2. I completed a page out of this annual 2022 Coloring Heaven. And I did this page right here. Oh, this was another page for Olga Rani's prompt of Spider. And this one is kind of a hot mess train wreck. I'm not mad at it, but because of the paper is what it is, the water mediums that I used on the back didn't move exactly the way that I wanted it to. But I've never actually had luck on the whole watercolor pooling wet on wet kind of thing, so I don't know if it would have anyway. I do like the colorway, and for me this was enough of a background to kind of take away some of that white space. I didn't feel any need for text. I did use some high chromatics over here, I believe. To give that kind of iridescent, but then what it does, it made the black lines kind of faded. I'm not necessarily mad at that, but I don't necessarily know that I like it. But all in all, I think she's cute. It's just the background looks a little gray to me, not as vibrant as I wanted it to be, but again, I don't know if it's user error, paper error, combination thereof. I don't test, I don't swatch, and so I just kind of did something. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's what we have. So this is a completed page out of this one. The art, of course, is Hannah Lynn. And this is Coloring Heaven's annual 2022 special. Because of the number of Coloring Heaven books that I have purchased this year, when the annual special comes out at the end of the year, I don't know that I'm going to be buying it because I have all of the other ones up until this point. But I actually have a lot of these pictures and I don't color things twice. And so when I was going through this, I'm like, oh, some of this is absolutely wasted on me because, or actually most of it, because I have them already and because I'm not going to color it twice. Yeah, so I really have to probably look at a flip through, but I may just stop with the annual because I love Coloring Heaven, but the annual one, which is a compilation book, I may not need to get this year. But yeah, I thought I'd bring that up. But this is Coloring Heaven's annual 2022 special. I did complete a page out of here. This one right here, and this was for Olga Rani. You hear her a lot because she drives a lot of pages, but her prompt was Cactus. It is an acrylic background. It's a little patchy, but if I can get away with it, I generally do only one coat. This actually would go for her current prompt of book. And even though it's a smaller book, there's lots of elements on the page. So it did take a few days for me to get through this. And of course I had to wait until the paint dried. But I think it's really cute and it's really fun. And this is Gabby Wolf's Daydreams coloring book. I did complete a page out of this, R.J. Hampson's Night Garden. This was a buddy color with my girl Jen from Instagram. I'll link her Instagram page below. And this was actually really a fun color. I didn't have a color palette in mind. I didn't do the background until I was done. And I kind of like, it is another one of those watercolor pages. Yeah, this background is Derwent Pastel Paint Pan. But I liked that I didn't try to get rid of all of the white space, because that's also another issue that I have with watercolor, is I don't use the white space of the page enough to get some kind of gradient in between. And I just kind of like that it just kind of centers around here. Again, I didn't have a plan, but I knew I wanted the roofs to be red, and then everything else kind of worked around that. It was a really fun page. And this also can go for Poets Gents for June and July, because there's quite a few guys on this page. Again, Instagram posting is weak. I did add the frame and I messed up over here, so that's why there's this black line, but I think it just makes some interesting dynamic to the page. But yeah, that is R.J. Hampson's Night Garden. Yeah, guys, we're still on that one bookshelf. I did complete a page out of here. This is Coloring Heaven, a colorful adventure storybook by Josh Lee. This was gifted to me by my friend Kay, and that's just her first initial. And I did complete this page right here. This was one of my untouched coloring books, so this could have counted toward the Lavella and T's Color Your Hoard. Again, I didn't post this to Instagram, so it counts for me in my head. It doesn't necessarily count in their little gallery. It's not little, it's huge, it's phenomenal. You guys are amazing. But I chose this picture because of Olga Rani's prompt of cactus. Now, because it is quite a big page and there's not a ton of detail, I mean, there's enough. It did take a little bit of time, but I am very happy with it. The background is done with Derwent Graphitint paint pans, and I love that stuff because you get a really mottled look that I like using on walls and buildings and ground, but you don't have to put a ton of effort in it. And the rest is just alcohol marker with embellishments of a glaze pen and white jelly roll and some dual hybrid metallic. But yeah, really fun page. I'm glad I finally was able to get into this. And this is Coloring Heavens, a colorful adventure storybook special by Josh Lee. I did complete a page in here. You guys know I have one of four. I currently have 4 hashtags going on for this year. It is Coloring the Year of the Tiger, which is any tiger page, any astrology page from any culture, or any animal from an astrology. It doesn't matter if it's actually astrology based, but I did do one in here. I like to do a page in here every single month. And so Gemini was the horoscope for this month. I didn't write anything down, but I do have a little chart in the front here. So Gemini goes from May 21st to June 20th. And I like to color the horoscope of the month, although for this month, I'm right here on the edge. So I'm actually July 23rd. Some horoscopes I've actually seen Cancer as July 23rd. So I might actually color both Cancer and Leo for July. But this is the page that I did for June, Gemini. And my thought process was here, I wanted to do opposite colors of the color wheel. And so orange for her background, blue for hers. It also helped it was the night sky. And then just kind of balance out the page so that they are connected, but not exactly identical. And I like how it came out. These Tanya Bond pictures are actually really pretty. And I actually got this done quite early in the month, because for the last few months prior to June, I was scrambling at the end of the month. And so, as I mentioned, the only artist that I have not colored is this one right here, but this actually might be a good one to color for this month because Cancer and Leo are right on the same page. But yeah, that's my completed page. Out of this one, Zodiac Special by Coloring Heaven. This is the final book of that very first bookshelf, bookshelf number 4. If you're playing at home, this is Witches by Coco. This was another buddy color with my girl Jen from Instagram, and I am about 99.9% happy with this page. The only thing that I do not like is her lips. I messed up because I love her lip color, but I think I should have left it light inside for her tongue. I don't know, but that looks a little weird to me. These are actually kind of a mistake. So they were sort of pinky in tone, and then I put another tone on top of it and it came out to this, and I actually kind of like it. The color palette is very whimsical, but then so is a witch, or a sexy witch no less, riding on a broom carrying a lamp. So I love the colors. Jen's page was absolutely sublime. I really enjoy doing buddy colors with her. I'll need to reach out for her for July. I don't know if she has the Modern Witches book. I'll have to see because I have yet to color in that one. But yeah, I just enjoyed it, and then adding some of that glaze pen to her boots makes it look kind of leathery to me, or at least latexy. But yeah, I love adding that as an element to bring sparkle or shine or sheen to my coloring pages. But that was my finished page out of this Witches by Coco. All right, we are on bookshelf number 2 now. So yay, we're not even halfway there, but whatever. I did do quite a few pages in here. This is Disney Portraits. I did get this from Amazon, and the first one that I did is this one right here. This was for Pixie's, what is it? Pixie's Disney Coloring Challenge for June was Minnie Mouse. And so she's done mostly in water-based marker with some dual hybrid metallic pen for her bow, and then just some water-based marker and Moonlight Jelly Roll. Here I thought the Moonlight actually worked really well, as well as some dual hybrid for the background. I didn't do the whole background, just the little elements. So she was actually a rather quick color. And not every page I'll be using water medium, but I did use, because I did color the back page. This was a fun buddy color with my girl Megan of Disney Megs. And so for her June challenge, her alphabet challenge, it was the letter M because June was her birthday month. Happy belated birthday, my dear. And so we chose Ariel for mermaid because, again, the letter of the month was M. Hers is absolutely beautiful. I would have preferred to use alcohol markers because my comfort zone for doing skin is alcohol markers. Hair, not so much. I can do that in pencil, but for skin, I do think I get a better finish when I use that. But I also knew I was going to color this. Yeah, because I actually finished this page before I did this one. So when you're doing that, I didn't want to have to deal with streaks by way of using water-based marker. So this is just pencil work, and it is a little patchy because, again, it's not my preference. But overall, I think she looks really pretty, and using the glossy accents in her eyes just really makes it pop. This back here is some extreme glitter that I purchased, or glitter acrylic paint. It did take a few coats, but I love how it frames her out. And because she's framed out like that, I didn't feel the need to color the white space of this one. Although, again, the one that Meg did is absolutely beautiful. And the other page we did is this. I think this is from In and Out. I've never seen it. I've only seen a little bit of it. Apparently her name is Disgust. She is in all shades of green, so it was a bit of a challenge. But yeah, I did do alcohol marker, although I think this makes an interesting effect for Olaf. Is that his name? No, I think that's a snowman. I've never seen this cartoon, but I could go back in white acrylic paint with this, and then maybe some brown water-based marker if I wanted to use this page, and then just have that as an already ready-made background. But the one that Meg did, she actually did the outlining of all of these little things. I only got to this point and I'm like, oh no, I'm done. I did the outline predominantly with my new Primrosia acrylic pens, although I did use an acrylic graph pen as well. But fun color, quick color, and Meg and I do have another buddy color set up for July, but in a different Hachette Hero book. But yeah, those are the pages that I completed out of this one, Disney Portraits, and this is from Amazon, but by Hachette Heroes. This was a buddy color with my girl Kay Carey, and we did this guy right here. I have yet to post him to Instagram. This is also another one that counts for his poets, gents for June and July, and he was a quick color because he was also alcohol marker based. This wasn't going to be a page I was going to color, so I didn't care. And I liked the effect of the background, and there's a little bit of detailing work with some dual hybrid metallic pen, but I thought that was fine. But the one that Carey did, oh, it's absolutely phenomenal. I just noticed she put up her completed pages video. I haven't seen it yet, but I believe she posted this to Instagram. You've got to check it out because he's got really dark skin, but white hair, and he just, oh, he looks so hot. But that's the completed page out of this one, Mangas. This one I did get from Lyrica.com, and I was inspired to get this book by Carey. I don't know if this is going to be our just every month kind of buddy color book, or if we're going to expand, because I think we have a few similar books, but I'll have to look through her video library just to see what it is that we have together. But that's another one from this, Mangas. Oh, they do have artists though. The artist for this book is Aurelia Stephanie Bertrand. And then the final book, actually, there's only 3 on this bookshelf, is Le Grand Cares, Hachette Heroes, Petit Sorcerer. This is also from Lyrica.com. The artist is Jean-Luc Guérin. This could have counted toward Lavella and T's Color Your Hoard, because this is the first page I've done here. But this was a buddy color with my girl Sarah of Chronic Coloring Down Under. And again, this is another one that could have counted for Olga Rani's book prompt. I knew that I wanted her in these colors. I knew I wanted these things in these colors. But then when it came to the background, I did not know how to deal with that. So I only picked a few of the starbursts because, yeah, as you can see, there's lines for other ones. The way that Sarah did hers, though, I thought that was actually the better choice because she just outlined these things and it just looks sublime. I did do a no, it wasn't distress, a graphite paint background first, so that's why it's kind of grayed out like that, and then used, what was this stuff? This was Inktense paint for these little starburst thing, and then Wink of Stella on top of that. And then her legs here are done with some glaze pen, and then her outfit is with some dual hybrid metallic. It was really fun. I can't wait to work in here again. It is mostly alcohol marker work just because that's just the quickest way for me to get through pages. But that is my completed page out of this Petit Sorcerer, and this is from Lyrica.com. All right, we are in bookshelf number 2, so 3 of 4 bookshelves because we actually started in not the right order, but this is Joanna Basford's Worlds of Wonder, and this was actually, again, no surprise, a prompt for Olga Rani, which was flamingos. The background was several layers of acrylic paint, that same sort of extreme blue acrylic paint. I can actually show you. I ordered it from Amazon and it came like this, but it's still usable. And so I used this extra sheen metallic paint. I had bought a cold paint. This one right here, the Treasure Gold from Walmart, but Walmart doesn't have any of the other colors because my girl Sarah had told me these come in other colors and they're beautiful, but I couldn't find them on Amazon. I couldn't find them on Walmart. And so I thought these might be the closest to it, and they actually work a treat. So I've got a few colors of these here, but then on top of that, I do have some stencil work that I did. I don't know if you can see, there's triangles. And then on top of that, I have some pink metallic acrylic paint just kind of dry brushed on there just to bring a little bit of depth to it. This was done in Inktense. No, I had to look. I was looking at this page and like, that doesn't seem right. This was done in extreme metallic, Neocolor 2s, high chromatic. The Neocolor 2s are the background of the inside circle. And then because there's always these weird lines, I do like to put my high chromatic watercolor paints on top of it. It kind of blurs that out. There's some Tombow water-based marker on here, some twistable Crayola pencils, Pentel Glaze, dual hybrid metallic, white jelly roll on here. And I don't actually like coloring flamingos, but I think this page is beautiful. It's so sparkly. But yeah, that's my completed page out of this, Joanna Basford's Worlds of Wonder. I did complete a page out of this. This is from Amazon, Japan. This is Erie's Around the World, I think. I don't have it written down on here. But this was a buddy color with my girl Tammy at Tammy Colors 2, and she was a lot of fun. And she actually was a just one session coloring because I did complete her on June 21st. And so I used my Inktense paint pans, not the pencils, for the majority of this as a base color. And then I did some Prisma coloring on top of that. There's some Jelly Roll Dual Hybrid, as well as Glaze Pen and Art Glitter Gel Pens, Wink of Stella, and then some Pigmamicron, just to bring some detailing back to her face. I wasn't sure exactly what to do with this outside border, if I should make it yellow, and so I just decided to wash it all in green so that that's sort of like a doorway and she's backlit from behind. And the one that Tammy did was absolutely gorgeous as well. But this was a really fun buddy color. We do have two actually set up for July. We're, I think, going to be doing an Erie page every single month, which is cool because I do love Erie. She is one of my top 5, but that is my completed page from this book right here. I did finish one out of here. Again, another one that could have counted toward Lavella and T's Color Your Hoard. This is my Erie postcard book. And I did this one right here. And this one was colored on the day that Olga released her newest prompt, which is books, and so it was a rather quick color. Like I said, I like to use those graphy tints for walls and buildings, and so that's what I did for the base layer. And then I did some, I think there's some Prisma on top of here, and then some glaze pen on top of that, just to give it some dimension. I like coloring cats in this sort of calico mottled way, because then I don't have to worry about fur, but it still makes them look interesting. I think I should have left him a little bit more white just to be a little bit more distinct. But yeah, this was a really fun color. Oh yeah, and lots of alcohol markers, but I did use a blotter page. And the way that I'm coloring this is, if I color any of the pages in here, I'll probably do the inside, and then once I'm done with this, maybe I'll either choose to color this, or maybe at that point, I'll go ahead and maybe send these to some friends. I don't know. I don't generally color things twice, but I also think it'll be easier just for record keeping purposes, because I don't like having loose pages to keep it in the book. So if I'm going to get rid of one, it's going to be this outside one here. But that was Erie's postcard coloring book, and I did complete that in June. I did complete a page out of this one. This is Opal's Moments Wholly for Yourself, which I always think of as Forest Girl number 3. And I did this one as well. I finished this, I didn't write it down. I had started it earlier in the month, but I finished it last week just with some pencil shading because this also counts for Olga Rani's book prompt. And this was mostly done with graphy tint paint pans. Yeah, no alcohol marker on here. And then just a little bit of pencil shading. I think I used some of my twistables and then some of this one, just because they're the easiest ones for me to color. These actually work fairly well on here. And then in here, I think that might just be a highlighter just because of the vibrancy. Yeah, it's one of the pages I didn't write anything down, but I'll need to do that. But I do like to complete an Opal page, and so yeah, that's the one that I did. This is Opal's Moments Wholly for Yourself. And then the final page I did out of this bookshelf, then we have one more to go, is from this. This is the Sketchbook Mouse. It is Wild Mouse Yururi, sketches by Makiko Inatomi. I actually got that from Anne of Pretty Pages 71, her channel, because of course I never looked this up myself. But the page I completed out of this book is this one right here. And this one was actually really fun to do. It did take a bit of time. This is what I completed for Sarah's Coloropoly prompt, because I had two. One of them was monochrome, the other was a picture with food. This is done with Inktense Paint Pan paints, and then I did some Prisma shading over top. I don't know if there's any, because I didn't write it down, but I don't think there's any of the glaze pen or any of the dual hybrid metallic pens. I think it was just those two mediums, but I really, really like how this came out. And I like that it was framed out, so even though it's a bit of a larger page, some of it I could just leave the white space. And just looking at the dates, I actually finished this so that I can count this towards Olga Rani's book prompt. So I actually have quite a few I can put towards that, because there's some books right there. But this was fun. This is the back page. There was a little bit of bleed through right here, and that's because I didn't wait before it dried before I tried to put some more color. And it's not bleed through, but there's a little bit of ghosting right there. And I must have done the same thing, because it's actually not that dark on this side. But if I do this page, because I don't feel the need to color every single page in here, that's something that I could easily cover up. But this was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this page, even though it took a bit of time. But I also love the results of it. So yeah, that was a completed page out of this. Also could have counted towards Lavella and T's Color Your Hoard. This is Wild Mouse Yururi, sketches by Makiko Inatomi. All right, and this is the last bookshelf. So there are, 4 books here that I'm going to be showing you. This is a Disney World Travel coloring book. It is a tracing book. I don't come in here as often as I'd like, just because of the tracing element, but because of Pixie's Minnie Mouse prompt for her monthly challenge, I did do this one right here. It actually was a little time consuming because I outlined everything and then doing the acrylic black paint for the silhouette here, but I love the effect of this. And so this was done with acrylic paint, those Fantasia pencils, these right here. These my sister had, and they are so old because my parents brought this back from Germany, and it's been at least 10-15 years since they've been there. And some twistable crayons on here. So yeah, really happy with how this looked. I actually have been looking at the Silhouettes Disney page, the kind of long one. I go back and forth on that because I don't need another Disney coloring book. Disney is not one of my favorite genres, but I do love having prompts or books that I can fill prompts with. And with Pixie's monthly prompt, you never know what you're going to get, and I kind of like that. But I think it's a top flip one, and I don't like those kind of books. Plus, it's rather large, and I don't like those either. But I love the idea of a silhouette kind of book. But yeah, that's the page I completed from here. And that is something I got from Amazon Japan, and it's Disney World Traveling Coloring Book. I do have 2 completed pages out of here. I actually still need to reach out to Patty so we can set up the ones for July. And the pages we completed are this right here. So this is the first one, and I think she's really pretty. I did make a conscious effort to leave the white of the page as some of her highlights in her hair, and then just use some light colors around that, so it does make it look like her hair is kind of glowing. I did add a distress ink stencil work on the background, and then the glossy accents in her eyes I think work. It's a really pretty page. I love this coloring book. And then the other one I did was this one right here. Again, another buddy color with my girl Patty. And this one was done with some gel pen in the background. I thought that worked really well. It's actually gel pen for a lot of these big elements. And then just some alcohol marker work on top of that. There's some glazed pen accents. And I use this as a prompt for Olga Rani's succulent slash cactus prompt. And I love the look of this page. It was a lot of fun. And then the text on the page is tea time is a slow down and smell the roses kind of time. Now I actually had looked up a quote, but then I got it wrong. I think there was something else that's supposed to go here. And so I just added that myself because there was no way that I could fix it. And that's the thing about doing text on a page is if you don't get the quote right, well, then you're going to have to fix it. So I made it my own. But I think it still works. Patty's pages are absolutely beautiful. The one that she did, her rendition of this, the girl was a very dark brown tone and her hair was a very vivid, almost like royal blue. And I loved that color combo. She didn't like it as much, but I thought it was quite dynamic. But yeah, I love doing buddy colors in here with Patty. But again, I do need to set some up for July. But this is Ikuko's Surreal Fantasy. I did complete a page out of this. This was a buddy color with my girl Poet. So I did this page right here. This did take a minute. These books generally do, but I enjoyed it. And when I work on pages in here, I just put in my mind that it is going to be a multiple day, multiple step process, but then I have generally been pleased with the results. Now the back pink edging here is done with some of that pink metallic extreme acrylic paint, and it did take several layers of that. And then there are some Inktent pencils for this blue background, Shuttle Art alcohol markers, acrylic metallic paint, Jelly Roll, glaze and dual hybrid. There's some Prisma and there's some Wink of Stella on here. And overall, I think it's just really pretty. Now, I will be working in this book. You'll see this book. It is my goal. I don't set a lot of those, but it is my goal to do this one right here. This is a double page spread that I'm doing with Doodle Robot. Obviously I have not started, but I do, because what I'm focused on are these aspects right here. Because once I set a color palette for that, and I'm leaning towards several different color palettes, then the rest of it I think will be fairly easy. I don't know if I'm going to go out of my comfort zone and try to do these in like neutrals, or if I'm going to go very vibrant. I don't know, but this is one of the few pages that I absolutely want to have done, if not by my birthday, then definitely by the end of the month, because Doodle goes back to school in August and I can't do any other body colors with her until next year. Yeah, I'm calling it already, Doodle. But yeah, this is my Sprookdebus, and this is by Tomislav Tomic, and I love the artwork from this artist. I absolutely love it, but it is a time commitment. And then the last book I'm going to show you is this Mythographic Wild Winter by Joseph Kontenbong. I actually have 2 completed pages out of here. I'll show you this one first. I finished this one earlier in the month. This was also a prompt for Olga Rani's Flamingo Finding Color prompt. And I don't like flamingos. To me, they just give mad side eye. And I'm not a fan of that. And that's something from my Happy Planner days, because there were flamingos in that, and they just seemed like they had a lot of attitude for no reason. But it was a fun color, and because to me flamingos are always pink, then I tried to pick colors that were complementary to that, and I think it came out really pretty. And then I did a washi tape border around it. And then this one, I was pleasantly surprised. I have avoided doing tiger pages because it's not just one straight color. There's actually layers of tones and whatnot. And so I actually looked at 2 completed pages I found on Instagram to just kind of figure out where that would be. And then the rest of this kind of happened. But I am just really, really happy. Now this is another page that took a little bit of work over a period of nights, but I really, really like it. I love the colors. I love the composition. I love the use of different materials. So I love using glaze pens to add like a slickness and a texture to things. There's some acrylic glitter paint up here, because you guys know I'm not the greatest with the light source. I wanted the background to recede. I wanted the crystals to kind of pop out at you. And I think it's just so pretty. And I'm just really happy with the pages that I completed. It just so happened these are back to back. I do have a buddy color, or several buddy colors, I think in Voyage. And I also got that new Paradise, so I'll need to get into that one as well. But yeah, that's my last book of completed pages. Let me get my reference journal and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is my long-term reference journal, or at least that's what I used to call it. But I've come to the realization that a lot of things that I have set up in here, I don't actually use anymore. And so I'm keeping it, I'm not getting rid of it. But you'll notice that I've clipped this entire section together right here, because I've gone through this and a lot of these things I no longer use, and the ones that I do use, like this here, because this is normally where I would go, and then my group or my buddy colors, I'm actually migrating ahead, and I'll actually show some of that to you right now. So this is just going to remain clipped. And so I did some collaging here, just with things that I had in my stash, because I really enjoy this. And then I have transferred my coloring book focus to this, and then I have made this into sort of a Dutch door action. I've realized that when I do group buddy colors, there's no point in me tracking that by the individual, and so I've got sections for the groups that I have. I just need to fill this in and draw the lines, and I do have several sections. This page here I tipped in because I didn't know if I had enough, and so if I do have more group buddy colors, then I can always tip in more pages. But I like the little action so that this stays there, which says group buddy colors. And then my untouched books we're also going to be talking about. I did set this up. This is where I learned that this just ink does bleed through the spray. And then I've already started setting up for some of my other things. I did a Distress Ink stencil background. And so for Olga Rani's Find in Color, I've just decided to go back to the beginning and just write down all of the prompts and just keep it list form that way versus the way that I had it. And then for her monthly prompts, the same thing. And I think that just might make it a little bit easier on myself. So yeah, that's why it looks a little different. But let's go through this and check some things off. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. So this is the other desk pad. I forgot I told you guys I was going to change it. And so again, I don't know which one is better. So I did a opal page. I did not do a Zan Von Zed. I did a Carla page, Mythographic, Erie, Joanna Basford, Reptiloids, E. Kuko, Spruik de Juice, could be 10 by 10, hardback. Oh, I did not do a hardback book. Okay. Alphabet marker, I couldn't find any, or I would have done, but I did do a pencil page. Hollow New Year. Oh, well, yeah, we've got that witches page. I don't post to Instagram, but I like just thinking about it. Hues of 2022, totally failed, didn't do that. Random color generator, same thing. One color challenge, I did do. Fantasy for Tammy's 50th, actually that could have been any of the pages. I did the one for Pixie. Meg's color challenge, I did do for June. Grogu in 2022, I didn't do a video, but I did do a page. The prompt for June was friend, I believe, and so that Grogu page would have counted. Fairy Tales and Stories, my prompt as of July does not start until July, so I don't need it. And then Coloring the Year of the Tiger. Okay, so not bad considering the kind of month that I had. Again, I'll go ahead and fill this in and check things off. And then for this one, the mini block, I did not do. Eerie Postcards, I did a page here. Coloring Heaven Gothic Compendium, nope. Creatures of the Night, nope. Annual Collection, yep. Snuggle Pots, Cuddle Pie and Friends. Nope. The Dark Side of Fairy Tales. Yep. Disney Portraits. Hachette Heroes. Oh, yeah, I had quite a few in that one. Petit Sorcier. That was my buddy with Sarah. Tour de Monde. That's what Meg and I have a page in for July. Matchstick Mouse. I just ran out of time. Houses 2. I did. Sketchbook Yururi. I did. Fairy Tale World, nope. Around the World, and both of those are by Funo Yanigawa. That was also nope. Dreams of Dragons. I started, but I didn't finish, so I'm not going to count that. Entangled Landscapes, nope. Fantasy Season, nope. Mythographic Voyage, nope. Coloring Heaven, A Colorful Adventure, yep. And Ville Sauvage. And if you didn't see the video on this, these were up and through May 2022. All of my untouched books, and so my goal is to color in all of these by the end of the year, at least one completed page. Then if not, then I may need to look at unhauling. I like doing 2-page spreads. I don't necessarily need spreads to be cohesive, at least in this, but I like the pages to work off of each other. And then because these were going to be very text heavy, that's why I just used a very large 12 by 12 stencil, distress ink, and then the text on top of it. Between that and the text on top of that, it'll be enough decoration for me, because I do need this to be super functional. I would love to know if you guys had a favorite completed page. I will be doing a flip through of this. This is part of the reason why I'm migrating to a different reading journal, because there are just things that worked and things that didn't. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.